So I just said to my wife, okay, let's see what we can get for it. Let's throw it up on the market.
Right.
Let's see what we get for it. And she said, okay, well, how much do you want to list it for? And I'm looking at the comps, and I'm like, well, what the hell? Let's put it on the market for like $289,000. She said, okay, I think you're crazy, but okay. I said, all right, well, let's try it, right? And he came in, he basically said, I love the property. I'm gonna give you a full $289,000 cash offer and waive inspections. And it was like 4 days on the market. And I was just like blown away by that.
Wow.
You know, it was just like, I don't have any reason to say no. Like, I'm not gonna say. Hey guys, this video is part of a larger interview that I did with my friend Sam Thompson on his podcast, where we discuss the various ways in which real estate investing can help everyday people escape the grind of a 9-to-5 job. I shared my own experience buying and selling one of my first rental properties, where I ended up making my first 6-figure profit, which alone exceeded my yearly law firm salary. I hope that this video motivates you to pursue ways in which you can stop trading hours for dollars and ultimately reach your own financial independence goals. Take a listen.
When you think about it, if you're trading time for money, and you're working a W-2 job, in that job, how long is it going to take you to earn a raise and how much? And in real estate, the thing is if you're doing it consistently, I mean, one deal. And now that one deal is 3 times as much of a raise as you could have expected to get. Again, it is a matter of just trying to carve out that way that you can support yourself and meet all your financial needs and be able to make that transition.
Absolutely. And you know, the thing that was the eye-opener for me was one deal that I did with my wife. We bought it in 2015. We sold it in 2018. And at that point when we sold it, and I'll tell you the details.
I think I know the deal.
You know the deal. But like, it was then that I said, oh man, like, you look at the profit that you make from a sale of a property like that versus how long it takes you to earn that money working a job and how many hours you put in. This was 2015. My wife and I were looking for a property to buy together, and that was kind of our plan and goal, to find something that we could buy and invest in together. And so at that time, I was still looking on market. I was still using bank financing, and that's kind of what that was our strategy, that was the plan. So I saw this 4-unit that was on the market in the good school district in our area. It was a little bit out of the way, so it was probably like 10-15 minutes from a downtown area, from a populated area, but it was a very nice 4-unit, and it had 3 apartments that had 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and 1 apartment that had 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, and it was designed and built as a 4-unit. So it wasn't a chopped up old Victorian or anything like that. It was a fairly new property. So it was listed on the market for $169,000. And at the time, everything else that's comparable to that was going for over $200,000. So it was like mid 200s that things were selling for, right?
Probably needed a little work.
Yeah, so it didn't need a ton. There were some tenant issues. One of the tenants upstairs was like a hoarder. She had just boxes and just clothes and furniture, like floor to ceiling in some of the rooms. But overall, the building was in good condition, and it had a pretty decent tenant base. The rents weren't very high, but you know, for $169,000, you really can't beat it. So we just went in. I think I did a quick walkthrough with my wife, and I was just like, we got to buy this. So we put an offer in. I think we offered $165,000. And there was an inspection contingency built in, and we did an inspection. They found some mold in the attic, so we asked for a $3,000 concession. I had a mold guy that ended up treating the mold in the attic for $3,000, took care of all of that after we purchased it. So we got $3,000 off, $165,000, so down to $162,000. And then I was also representing us as the realtor, the broker, because I had my broker's license at that point already. And so that took off another 2.5% basically back into our pocket. So once we bought the property, we went in, we ended up kicking out one of the tenants. I think she stopped paying rent, something happened, whatever. She was out, did a light remodel on one of the units, upped the rent a few $100s. And then the hoarder left. We did a light remodel there, upped the rent. And then we did a really nice remodel on the first floor left unit, which was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath unit, where we pretty much gutted the kitchen, gutted the bathroom, redid everything. I think we put tile in the bathroom, new tub surround, stainless steel appliances, ended up renting it for I think over $1,000.
Wow.
So the building overall was renting for somewhere around $3,600 per month. That was the gross rent. And because we bought it so low, and I think we ended up spending probably, I want to say we spent $15,000, $20,000 over the course of the first 2 years on various improvements. We took our time, so we didn't try to turn over all the tenants right away. We kind of just went as things happened. We just took care of it.
Right. And you're generating some income from the property while you're doing that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So the property was actually cash flowing at that point pretty well, so that every single expense, all the renovations and improvements that we did to the property came out of the cash flow.
So that's fantastic.
Yeah. And so what my wife and I did, we actually created a separate bank account for the property, and we put all the profits, in fact, all the rents, gross rents from the property into that account, and we didn't even touch it. We didn't withdraw from it. We didn't do anything.
Okay.
We didn't take any quote unquote distributions of profit.
Sure.
Essentially, we just let it run. And so we owned it from 2015 to 2018, and over the course of those 3 years, it accumulated probably about $22,000, $23,000, $24,000. So not anything crazy, right, in terms of cash flow.
Yeah.
But what we did is we improved the property using those funds, using the gross rent funds, including we ended up replacing a roof. We ended up putting brand new 3-tab shingle on the roof, where I think it ended up being like $8,000 labor and materials. And then in 2018, I was watching the market, and I'm just seeing how things are selling for insane prices, right? And I'm like, this property's pretty far away. At that point, it was just like I was the manager. I was the guy. Like I was showing the apartments. I was driving out there. We had moved from Albany, from near where this property was, farther away. We were like another 20, 25 minutes away from where we were originally. So it was like a 40, 45-minute drive one way for me to just go to this property.
Right.
Now, not that I needed to go there a lot, because the property didn't really need as much work or maintenance once everything was up and running, but it was still an annoyance and a nuisance to go there every so often, right? So I just said to my wife, okay, let's see what we can get for it. Let's throw it up on the market. Right. Let's see what we get for it. And she said, okay, well, how much do you want to list it for? And I'm looking at the comps, and I'm like, well, what the hell? Let's put it on the market for like $289,000, right? She said, okay, I think you're crazy, but okay. I said, all right, well, let's try it, right? So put it on the market, $289,000. I get like 10 showing requests the first couple of days.
Wow.
I put it up on Friday. By Sunday, there was like 10 showings, right? And one of those showings was another investor in the area who actually was a realtor himself. It was him and his brother and his dad, and they were looking to buy buildings like that in the school district, in this good area. And he came in and he basically said, I love the property. I'm going to give you a full $289,000 cash offer and waive inspections. And it was like 4 days on the market. And I was just like blown away by that.
Wow.
It was just like, I don't have any reason to say no. Like, I'm not going to say no.
So you got $152,000 to close on the thing. And then you've got $20,000 in the bank from the
Still,
rents.
yeah.
And you've probably, maybe you owed 148,
right,
or 145.
Yeah.
Wow. And that deal went through.
The deal closed. The guy, so he ended up putting a large deposit in, good faith deposit, and then within a month or so, we ended up closing. Again, no appraisals, no financing, no inspections. He did a walkthrough. We let him do that. He got the financials on the tenants from us, leases, everything else, and then he ended up closing with his brother and his father.
Wow.
And so, like, the conversation that I have with my wife is, we're driving from the closing to the bank to deposit this gigantic check. It was like the biggest check I've ever gotten in one sitting, basically. I think it was whatever it came to, $120,000, $140,000 check. And we're bringing it to the bank, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, all right, so let me just do the math on this, right? I averaged probably about 5 to 10 hours per month on this deal, like from the time we bought it, right? Managing it, overseeing contractors when we did the remodels, dealing with tenants, showings, everything else. So probably 5 to 10 hours per month for 3 years. Right? So I think, I don't know what the math exactly comes to, but let's say it's 200 hours, right? Like, it's 200 hours that I put into this over the course of 3 years.
Right.
And we walked away with like $150,000, $160,000 profit. Right? And so then I'm thinking about my law firm and the work that I put in there, and where we started our conversation today, which is how many hours do I have to bill?
Yeah.
We have a minimum billable hour requirement at the firm. And that is, it's not crazy, but it's 1,800 hours, right? 1,800 hours per year that I was required to put in order to meet my obligations as an associate at this private law firm.
Right.
And it was hard work. You're in the office, you're sometimes weekends, sometimes nights.
Yeah.
And it's not just the 1,800 hours that gets billed to the client, that's all I work. Because obviously there's other hours that you don't bill. You can't bill certain things. You got other meetings. You got different reasons you have to be in the office for.
Sure.
So you tack on another 200, 300, 400 hours per year.
Sure.
So I'm talking about 2,200 hours in a year that I spend working at my law firm. And at that time, I'm maybe making $130,000 from 2,200 hours. Mm-hmm. And here I am spending 300 hours and making $150,000 or $160,000 in this 3-year period. So it was at that point that I just kind of had an epiphany, basically. And my wife was with me on this, and she understood that, like, there is a better way to spend your time and to get a reward, financial reward at the end of the day, than trading hours for dollars.
100%.
And as a lawyer, you are still, in private practice and in public service, you are a glorified hourly worker. Whether you're paid salary or not, you're still you're
trading time.
You're trading time for money.
Right.
And when we did that deal that brought this much of a profit to us, almost didn't even feel like I worked for it. Like I didn't feel like I earned all of that the way I earn it at my law firm. That's when I knew like real estate is it. And that's why I pursued it further.
If you guys enjoyed this video and if you got value from it, please do me a favor and hit the like button. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, definitely subscribe so that you don't miss any of my future videos on real estate investing and personal finance. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.